Okay, this afternoon I just want to draw your attention again to the church life cycle that we worked with initially on March 3rd when we introduced our vision process at Temple Baptist Church. And what happened on that day, the congregation that was gathered together made their own assessment of where they felt Temple Baptist Church was at. So here was the outcome, is that we had a majority of the table groups assessing that Temple Baptist is in this place of retirement on the back side of the church life cycle. So churches begin with high vision, develop relationships and programs, and develop management, and the ideal is to function up here in adulthood and maturity. What happens on the backside of the life cycle is that the focus, instead of being outward to the mission field beyond us, it becomes focused inward. We're looking at ourselves and we're considering more what do we need instead of what do they need. So the big challenge is to return to an outward focus, and that in effect means we have to get back to the front side of the life cycle where vision and relationships are restored. The challenge to a church in this retirement phase is that the agenda becomes about preserving what we have. There has been a significant amount of loss, and so the mood shifts to one where we have to protect and preserve. And a kind of blindness enters in where the agenda becomes improvement for the sake of preserving. So congregations will look to improve programs or maybe do something to improve relationships, but program improvement becomes a primary motivation. So churches can, on the backside of the life cycle, get caught going in short little cycles of up and then down, because when you look to improve programs, you do get some temporary fruit from that. And the mistake is to think that's the way to the future, but it's a temporary solution. So in the literature, what's described are congregations who are cycling back here, and instead of breaking out, they are getting embedded in these frustrating short cycles. And that's often where conflict happens, where there's dissatisfaction with pastoral staff or church leadership, because inevitably we're not getting to the place where we would all like to get. What we have decided as the congregation considered it was we are going to engage in a vision process. We started into these prayer triplets, and the prayer triplets are an ingenious way to spiritually enrich the congregation at a relational level, both improving relationships with one another and also improving our relationship with God. So the prayer triplets themselves are already a way to address this decline in the R component, or the relationships. But ultimately, what we have to do as a congregation is get back over here where vision and relationships are both primary, and actually where management becomes less. So a couple of the things we'll pay attention to as we move forward in our visioning process is how can we simplify this management piece so it's more efficient and effective? How can we continue to improve relationships? And how can we become a vision-focused church? So what you see as you move down the life cycle is the distance to get back to the front increases. So here we are at retirement. We've got a long way to go. And that length of time is projected to be between 2 and 3 years. And that's why we will be in the fall introducing a new future story for the church. We'll be processing that and making decisions about where we as a congregation think we can go in the future. And then we will start taking strategic action to live into that vision. And with God's help, and as the Holy Spirit continues to move among us, we will look and trust God to develop in all of us this passion for the future that God has for our church right here in Medicine Hat. So as we continue in the prayer triplets, and as we will move to the end point of the prayer triplets and start over the summer preparing future stories for Temple Baptist Church, this is what we're aiming for, is to become a church with restored relationships, defined vision, and starting to take action so that once again Temple Baptist Church can be the fruitful, thriving church that God really, really wants us to be. Thank you for listening, and if you have any other questions, please direct them to me and to our great vision team. We are here to serve you.